Hi, this is Tony Robbins, and no, actually this is Harvey Hooke. I've spent the last 4 days at Tony Robbins UPW in sunny Sydney, because it's not really that sunny. I've lost my voice because it's been 4 days of partying and 4 days of learning. So a while ago I produced a video which was just words of me talking about, drinking less on a Friday night, and instead of drinking less, talking to strangers. And you can click that here. But that actually got a lot of positive response from people. Actually, like a lot of people were talking to me like, how do I do this? How do I actually create conversations with random people? And to me, that's normal. Like catching a bus every morning, it's like I make a new friend. But
is it live?
No, it's not live.
Oh, fuck. All right, have a good one.
Anyway, so to me, it's normal, right? But I used to be someone who was extremely introverted, and it had to be a trained skill. So I want to save you all that time. If you want to learn to talk to guys, and if you're a guy watching this, it's the same rules, but these literally are the 3 rules of talking to strangers. And if you're interested in someone and pursuing it further, then this is what you do. Because like literally in any relationship, there's 3 stages. There's meeting the person, there's actually, interacting with them and actually feeling if you guys actually work together as well as a partner, or if you're actually attracted. And then there's the 3rd stage, which is actually maintaining the relationship, which is something that people don't actually realize. So these are the 3 laws of talking and interacting with strangers. The first law is focus on feelings. When you're talking to someone, and this became very apparent when I was talking to someone and it was giving me a very logical conversation. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt who said, no one cares what you know until they know that you care. And by that, what I mean is it's about sharing feelings with their person. So finding out how they feel about something and finding out commonalities. And that's what a connection really is. A connection is a connected sense of values. And what are values but valued feelings that you constantly get? If you value family, you value the feeling that family gives you. So if you find out that someone is very interested in family and they got a strong family life, that's a feeling that you can focus on. So that's what I mean by focus on feelings. Similarly, if you don't know what to say, tell them how you're feeling. You will always be feeling something unless you're Buddha. That is the rule. There's always the exceptions to the rule, is unless you're Buddha. I'm going to leave all this in. Unless you're Buddha, you will have feelings. So there's always going to be something to talk about. Always a lot of people ask me, they're like, what do I say? What do I say if I run out of stuff to say? It's like, you will never run out of things to say if you focus on feelings. And I could make a whole nother video on that, but we'll get into step 2. And law 2 is focus on fun. And by that I mean, it actually has to be fun for you and it has to be fun for them. If conversations get too heavy and like deep and meaningful at the start, it's not going to give it the chance to actually create a proper bond. It was Plato who said, and I discovered this when I made it my Instagram and I was sharing a lot of quotes. It was Plato who said you can learn more about someone in an hour of play than a lifetime of conversation. If you keep the initial interaction light and fun, it'll actually be a lot more fun for you, a lot more fun for them, and it'll relax them and relax you, which is the most important thing. Because most people are really afraid to speak to strangers. And if you see that attractive guy you want to talk to, or if you're a guy watching this, if you see that attractive girl you want to talk to, you're going to be probably freaking out if you're not used to it, or if you don't know how to handle your fears, because that fear is something that never goes. You just learn to master it a little bit better. So when you focus on fun, everything kind of works. And so a good example would be, a good example was I met someone just before and she was standing there and I just went up to her. I was like, I'm waiting for my friends. You look like you're waiting for your friends. Let's pretend to be friends. And that was the conversation, because to me, that's what I thought was funny. And I knew that would be funny for her. Like, it's not really anything serious. And the third law is focus on flying. Now this is the hardest part, because 80% of all of this thing, 80% of like dating world, 80% of mastering anything is always just psychology, and 20% is going to be actually what you do and actually what you say. So when you focus on flying, what I mean by that is you have to realize that everything you say is gold. That's like me talking to you now, is that I know that everything I say actually will change your life if you apply it, or if you go to one of my programs. And I'm going to be making a program on this to help. It's going to be like a 2-part thing where we talk about this in depth. And the second part will be doing like a field trip where you apply this real life. So the rule is like tell, show, do. That's how you learn anything. I tell you, and then I show you, and then you do it. That's how you learn. So that's what I'm going to be doing. When you focus on flying, just know that everything you say actually has value, because you are unique. You're a very unique person. So you have your own set of experiences that no one else can physically have. And if you have that self-confidence and you know that that's who you are and anything you say has that value, you're not going to freak out when you actually talk, because a lot of the time we can like trip ourselves up before we interact. Anyway, this has been this video in the bridge with my amazing camera crew. There behind the camera. Canetta?
That'll do.
Yeah, Canetta, plug for Canetta. All right, cool. Mwah, see you in Melbourne. And oh yeah, make sure to do the quiz, which is the what guy is attracted to you most quiz, which will be here. All right, mwah, see ya. Cut. I think it was